So, when last we left our heroes, would someone care to give a semi-detailed recap?
We got our asses beat.
I said semi-detailed.
I think the person who actually died last session should give the rundown.
Sure. Austin, where did we last leave our heroes?
So, previous session, a young Vistani woman was performing a delivery to the mysterious, decrepit region of Barovia. That delivery was revealed to be an automaton of some sort.
An autistic of some sort.
Automaton.
Automaton.
I mean, both, yes.
That took the name Chekhov. And they were accompanied by an Aranean agent of the... Let me get the actual name.
The Keepers of the Feather.
Keepers of the Feather, thank you. To the village of Barovia.
His handout is here, spattered in his own green blood.
Yes, because at the end of our first session, at the start of this game at level 1, we were greeted by local sex pest, Strahd von Zarovich.
I have no regrets. That was the best character death I've ever run.
Yes, the Keeper of the Feather agent was killed after scoring a critical hit with a rapier and 2 giant spider fangs to the eyes on Strahd.
Lovely.
But Strahd managed to get away with the remains of that fallen agent, as well as he got away with the mute girl, right?
No, she's with us.
He took your body with him.
He took you.
Alright. So he chose to take the body of the guy who attacked him instead of the woman he was perving on. So
It's fine.
you
He's
take
got
the wins
time.
where you can get them.
He's got time. Okay. Jan!
Yeah.
Fucking sit down!
Whoa. Bake me, bitch.
Okay.
No.
Baby bitch. You don't test me. Okay. So, after the death of who we learned to be called Gossamer, I imagine you all are in a bit of a state. But we're not picking up right where we left off. Not. It is the eve of September 30th, past midnight. Not quite the witching hour. Even the moon is obscured this night on the Old Svalich Road, a soft thunderstorm rumbling overhead as a tall, shadowy figure takes shelter under the trees. 7 feet in height, and in the dark, he is an off-putting sight to behold for people that don't know what they're looking at. As your campfire gutters against your face, Notch, who do we see?
As you said, he has got a very tall frame. He is a half-orc with a slightly narrower chin than is common for half-orcs. Long, dark hair, a lot of it drawn back in a slight braid, but most of it hanging loose. A scar running a little bit over his left eye and even a gap in his eyebrow. And wearing basically typical wilderness wanderers' fatigues.
Right.
He is holding onto a shard of crystal that shimmers a little bit of its own sort of otherworldly glow.
All right. You entered the mists just this morning, following clues that you've discovered for yourself and for your companion, who lumbers slowly out of the mist to lay down at your side. He sets down what looks to be a spider, about the size of a rat, and begins to chew on it. What does your friend Dominic look like in this moment?
In this moment, I will say that so D6, I got a 4. So Dominic is in his skeletal form right now. The basic structure of a wolf skeleton, with eyes that shimmer the same glow as the crystal that Notch is holding on to. And there's a matching shard embedded in the skull of that wolf.
What color does it glow?
I would say it is kind of a soft light green, like not a sickly lime, but
Kind of a pulsing, softer green. All right. In this moment, what do you think Notch is feeling, having seen these bizarre, intimidating gates behind you, having entered this terribly haunted place already all on your own? What do you think he's feeling?
for a moment he's very certain that he wound up going in way over his head to try chasing down his current quarry, but as he watches his companion gnawing at the remains of some little creature and not able to do much else with it, he is of the opinion that it will be worth it when he actually tracks down what he's looking for.
As this moment of conviction and determination kind of flows through you, you pull a letter out from your pocket, disentangling it from the research notes that you found. This is something that you've folded, unfolded, and read so many times that the words are burned into your mind. You are welcome to read this to yourself, or you are welcome to read this out loud.
Let me read this to myself. There's like 3 whole pages.
It's 2.5 pages.
2.5. Sorry.
Excuse me.
I worked for like 3 hours on that. You bet.
You don't have to read it. I read it, so you don't have to read it out loud. It is long, so.
Are listeners enjoying the silence?
Nobody's listening to this. The audio is so shitty. This is primarily for archival purposes.
Yeah.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Nobody's listening to this.
Do we want to try my mic next time? See if it's any better?
Nobody's listening to this, and I'm not creating this for content purposes.
This isn't for content.
This isn't made for content.
This is personal joy.
Yes, yes.
I still have the recordings downloaded on my computer. Our first What If campaign.
I have them somewhere in mine as well.
It is.
I have, somewhere in the ancient stores of Google Drives, there is a recording of that last session of Heaven's Spear where you said, "Did I just get like juked by a gay twist from a D&D player? Who knew about this?" And everybody raised their hands. You like tossed your hat.
The decorative coffee stains are a nice touch.
Thanks. It was her idea.
I have good ideas sometimes. Here. Oh, it was part of Smuggler, that's right. Okay.
For the campfire.
I tried to figure out how to give it a flicker effect. You really can't.
Yeah, no.
That's fine.
Does that explain your character's name?
Katya? Katya.
Alright.
And that photo is just something that you have in your possession. If you want to look at that, turn it around.
I did, yeah.
Shake it all around. As you finish reading, a voice comes from the darkness. Excuse me, kind traveler. May I share your fire? You look up with a start, and you see a figure shrouded in black at the very edge of the campfire. He is tall, not as tall as you, certainly. Immensely tall for maybe a human or an elf, but the way that his figure holds himself is too elegant and still to be human. Swarms of bats chitter softly and linger in the trees, hanging like strange black and brown fruit. Those weren't there a minute ago. But I think what might unnerve you, a well-traveled ranger, at the most, is that you didn't hear the stranger approach. You didn't even hear a twig snap. What do you say?
Keeping my eyes locked on this absolute total stranger whose identity could not possibly be gleaned.
Yeah, no idea who this guy is.
And just kind of gesture to the space across from where I am sitting.
There's like a little nod from beneath the hood, and he comes to sit across from you. Sits, and he takes off his hood. You see what seems to be a half-elven man, in the equivalent of his late 40s. His bone structure is strong and sharp, his brows heavy, and his eyes the darkest shade of brown. His long black hair extends to just past his shoulders, soft and well taken care of, nearly blending with the shadows around him. His hairline is receding slightly, giving him a distinct widow's peak, but your eyes are immediately drawn back to his face. His shoulders are broad, his body whipcord lean. He is toned, not very muscular, not visibly, but his eyes are bright, shining with interest and intelligence despite the late hour. He looks down at Dominic. Goes, the handsome boy this is he friendly?
Dominic bites.
No.
Sassy one.
It's an adjustment period we're going through. But no, he's not quite friendly.
It's alright. Neither am I most days. He settles back and he looks around at your supplies and he just goes, do you have anything to drink? Quite parched.
I kind of half-heartedly toss him a spare water skin.
Thank you. Water is water, I suppose. Slides it back, hands it back over to you. You notice he very pointedly does not touch your skin as you take it back. So what brings you to this haunted road at such an hour of the night?
Notch has by this point folded and stowed his letter and photograph.
He doesn't seem to have had much interest in it. He never looked down or tried to read it. He seems more interested in you.
Just out hunting. What's a short-dressed fellow like you doing out?
Oh, taking a walk for the nerves, I suppose. Love troubles, you know how it is. I imagine you know how it is. Do you have anyone? Are you wearing your wedding ring?
He's got leather gloves on,
Okay.
so no visible ring at the moment.
Do you have anyone?
Yeah, I'm hoping to meet up with him pretty soon, as soon as we're done with this excursion.
Really? Where do you intend to meet?
No place special, just a tavern.
Oh, the Blue Leather Inn, then, or the Blood on the Vine.
Whatever strikes our fancy.
Interesting. Well, not much of a conversationalist, are you?
Not really.
He seems to be momentarily at a loss with the fact that you're just not responding to any prompted conversation.
I love it. I love it so much.
He just goes, well, since you so courteously and charismatically asked, my young woman is wonderful. She is sweet and she is kind, she's quiet. Fate keeps ripping her from me, but I have no intention of backing down. The people around her, the company she keeps, they despise me. Even though I could help and support her better than anyone. They insist that I am not right for her. My father-in-law has been a particularly annoying obstacle. But rather he was. I overcame them though. And if I can overcome the great Burgomaster Kolyan Indirovich, the great Sir Godfrey Gwilyn, the great Saint Alexandra what the fuck was her name? Markovia. That was her name. Neither can overcome anything for my Tatiana.
Notch would like to try to get a read on this guy.
Roll insight. What are you trying to discern?
If what he's like the choice phrases that he's using when he's referring to like that list of names, particularly the burgomaster who cropped up by name in that letter.
Yeah. Roll insight.
It is condensation dripping onto my leg.
At least it's not popcorn butter dripping out of a bag.
Oh gosh,
Oh,
that was
gosh.
the worst.
It was so bad. I hated that so
I was
much.
super dubious about you, Jan,
Getting the bucket?
getting the bucket, but I'm so happy
Yeah.
about it in retrospect now.
Yeah.
I hate that you're paying an extra $1 for the butter not to drip onto your lap.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Good God, the bags were just horrible. They're supposed to be wax coated. They were not.
That was a 24.
Okay. I didn't get my dice out.
It's just D&D 24/7 for you today.
What?
I have like now every time I
Notch is not good at talking.
No,
But he's
every
a
time I
damn
imagine
good listener.
I imagine like now thanks to all the Baldur's Gate memes, I just imagine that specific die roller from Baldur's Gate now in my head. Anytime I imagine like, oh, let me do an electronic roll, that's the roller.
He has a pretty high bonus to deception, but not that high. So you notice that there is this spark of ire and malice that flickers across his eyes. You know a lot about people. You know about human rage and the anger that a reasonable person has. Like, if a normal person said, my father-in-law is no longer a problem, they would probably be saying, like, we either elope together or I finally got him to come around. This isn't that. There is something darker behind his eyes that does not fall under the human spectrum of emotion. You've met human monsters.
Yeah.
You get a feeling. He stands up. Well, brushes himself off. I have bothered you for long enough. And good luck. Welcome to Barovia. He steps away from the fire.
Watch your step on your way out. Wolf scat. I'm 2 for 2.
Yes.
He rolled a natural 4. It's fine. Okay. Just like a slight
I
noise of...
stabbed him and made him step in wolf shit.
It's fine.
Beautiful.
A slight noise of disgust, and then he melts into the shadows, and the bats erupt into a swarm and scatters the night. And you are left alone. You settle into sleep. And a couple of hours later, near the witching hour, a horrendous sound meets your ears, even from a distance. The sound of hundreds or thousands of creatures of the night attacking. Not you. It's too far away. But it is a discordant army of a sound that sends chills down your spine and leaves you sleepless for the rest of the night. Day dawns, if you can call it that. The mist becomes less black into a softer gray. You get up, you collect your things, and you go into town. The village of Barovia is barren. You do see, however, a very large Vistani wagon outside. It's pre-dawn. You see this wagon here, and 2 elk that seem to be just eating, dozing in the morning. But I think that's the most lively thing you've seen in the entire time here. And then you hear shouting. You hear shouting of, stop! The door to the inn of the Blood on the Vine Tavern, the thing that the mysterious stranger spoke of, slams open, and a young woman with long curling red hair and a blue hood and a long blue cloak, very, very expensive, very luxurious, very lovely, runs out and stumbles across through the street down the road, and they are followed by a tall young man with ashen blonde hair, a curvaceous red-headed Vistani woman who runs as quickly as she can after, a fully masked individual wrapped in brown and masked and with a long, like, weird loping stride, and someone that you sort of recognize. As they run past, it's almost as if time slowed down for a moment as you've made that connection. Visions of notes flash through your mind, like that, the profile, the side image, the construction of the eye, the connection between the waist and the spine. And then they are gone. And you look after, and you hesitate for about 15 seconds. Then what do?
I follow at a distance. By this point, Dominic has been dismissed, by the way.
Okay. Avoid hordes of townspeople with torches and pitchforks.
Yeah. Well, that, and also technically by this point I am not able to have a companion because I'm only level 2 ranger, but for flavor, you could say he was out and about. So I follow from a distance.
You follow slowly, and you, as you're walking slowly, a woman who is like sobbing in the corner notices you, reaches out and grabs your sleeve. You are distracted by the fact that you've walked so far to finally talk to that, maybe, and the fact that, and this woman grabs you and it's like, please, sir, you have to help me. And she has a little doll in her hand, and she is showing it to you like it's supposed to mean something, and she's babbling through her tears. She's not making any sense. And then you hear a scream, followed by the sound of a howl. What do?
I look to the source of the scream. I look to the woman with the doll and say, sorry, that takes precedent.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, it says gut-wrenching screaming.
Very easily you break away.
Good luck with your doll!
Mad Mary continues to sob in the street, and you book it down the road towards the Burgomaster's Manor. You see exactly what the others saw when they approached, which is a house ruined by an attack of the undead and the vile and the corrupt. You run in just as you hear a weird crunching noise kind of from the side and from the back through a window. A window shatters. There's this hard thud of a very heavy body hitting the ground. You make your way through the halls very quickly. The door is already open, so you just skid and your hand grabs onto basically the top of the frame of the door so you can look in.
We now have two massive individuals.
And now we are where we left off. A young man with ashen blonde hair that you saw is holding his unconscious red-headed sister. She's beautiful. She really is. She has like almost delicate like cut to the side of her throat, like it wasn't meant to kill her, just enough to make her go unconscious. Just blood streaming down her chest. The voluptuous red-headed Vistani woman that you saw earlier is, on the other hand, very sluggishly bleeding from a terrible wound on her throat. And what did you describe that you look like right now? How would you say?
If I recall, if it's pretty much from the collarbone all the way down to the
I think it was
where your appendix would be.
And then just
On
a
the-
delicate dig and rip.
Yeah, it's gore, and there's like upturned and shredded metal with broken chain links all the way down, like a rip, like just pretty much just like a ripped zipper or something like that. But on the inside of it is just it's this dead blood and viscera that's kind of like showing through. It's not like bleeding, but it's definitely like gunky and dry.
Through like a breach in the membrane under this metal shell, you just see like a single wet lump of intestine that is threatening to fall out. They do not look good, but they are stable.
Yeah, Katya, at the end of last session, Katya actually did a medical check to wake you up, and she was binding him with the wrappings of his last character when we actually ended. So she was actually in the process of like taking your side, binding it like kind of like around your middle, trying to keep everything contained. And she's babbling down to you about how we need to get back to the wagon. She needs to get you back to the wagon. She can fix things if she gets back to the wagon. Like
Yeah.
That's what she's been babbling, slipping in and out of Common and Vistani.
Sorry, am I still at 0 hit points or am I 1?
You are at 0, I will say, but I will say also for flavor that you can hear her. You just can't respond. This is like when you were traveling, when you were outside. It's like the blessing of life and knowledge has left you. You are sitting there
I'm in paralysis
in
again.
paralysis again.
So, what is my passive perception? Hold on a second. I want to see if Katya, like, noticed you coming into the room.
It doesn't matter what your passive perception is. You would notice a 7-foot fucking orc, half orc, thudding into the hallway. You would notice.
I mean, Gwen would not have, because she has a negative. But
do you have a negative?
No, I don't. But
There you go.
I'm just saying, point of reference. Yeah, I have the 12 passive, so it's,
Take it away.
you just stormed into the room. I'm trying to keep... I think I'm keeping you alive. I'm just binding you, and I am babbling, talking, like I said, in a mix of Common and Vistani, how I need to get to the wagon. We have to get back to the wagon. But I can help everyone at the wagon. That's just... Yeah.
Notch, what do you do?
I think I'm gonna go over and help get the intriguing metal doorman patched up. Help out with that.
Quite literally, inhumanly large hands go in and
Are helping me.
assist you.
My hands are,
with
like,
pressure
shaking.
on blood that does not, on a heart that does not beat, on nothing but
I
pulse.
feel it's like what you were saying, Cass. You're just helping
I'm just gonna...
helping vicing together,
Yeah.
so it doesn't like
She has this
so I don't
theory.
spill open.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get you from not like spilling. She's got a theory that she can help you. I mean, in terms of how magic works, I'm pretty sure this is how it would work. So she's just muttering. The hands come in and are like helping her because her hands have been shaking and she's not very strong. So you actually come in and you're like you actually tighten where she couldn't tie the band's actually putting him back together. And she just kind of looks up at you, and she is like splattered in blood, and she is so pale her freckles are standing out. Who are you? Where did you come from?
Think when Chekhov is adequately patched up, Notch is gonna lift them up. Just gonna like put them over his shoulder
Even
and
for
say,
you, it's an effort.
"Introductions later. We're gonna get you guys someplace safe."
My wagon.
You're the wagon with the elk, right?
Yes, we have to get back to my wagon.
Who are you? This is Mark, still holding his unconscious sister.
I don't really care who they are. They're offering to help.
Fine. He kind of picks her up, holds her.
I grab the box and the bag that I had carried in. Actually, I rip open the bag because I know what's in it. And I pull out the clip of bags.
Okay.
And I come over and I drape it over Irina and fasten it. Your father got this for her. To the manifest.
He just holds her tight and he walks.
Mm-hmm. I grab the box and I'm still talking like as I see. My father got that for you, and there's weaponry in this one.
We will. Yes.
And I, holding box, trotting, leading the way to towards the wagon, with them trailing behind me, I guess.
What would a 10 insight earn Ismark on your motivations?
He is genuinely raring to help, but he would have clocked that Notch's attention was drawn to Chekhov regardless of the injury.
Okay.
Like, there was a bit more of a focus behind his gaze.
A more pointed focus on Chekhov.
I'm gonna play into the fact that my passive insight is 14 as to why Katya easily let you do shit because you seem to genuinely want to help. That's what I'll play off of.
You make your way slowly, limping, back towards the Blood on the Vine Tavern. The woman that pestered you on the way there seems to have retreated into herself and is just holding this doll and is just profusely crying. The wails that you heard when you came into town, that loud, they are coming from her.
Ah. Well, Katya's a little focused right now on the very particular
By all
matter.
means, you move past the wailing woman back to the inn.
No, I take them to the wagon.
Which is at the inn.
I know.
You take them to your wagon. You open up the door. You go inside.
I instruct everyone to get in. Like get in. It's a tight fit, but we manage.
Notch, make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh God. Why?
Dexterity.
Oh no.
22. I'm good with
You
dex.
very easily don't beam your head on the underside of the door.
I help you using the supplies that was left behind by your last character to pulley system him into the back of the wagon because he's fucking heavy.
He's carrying.
I know, still. I imagine trying to hoist him into the wagon would still be kind of just a struggle.
Okay.
Especially with all the other stuff I'm already carrying on my person.
I mean,
That's fair.
it's literally in his sheet that he's, 290 pounds?
I'm almost 300.
He's almost 300 pounds. The pulley system is necessary.
Winch him into
Yeah.
the cart.
I get Irina and, what's her brother's name again? I keep wanting to call him Dimitri, but that's the fake name.
His name is Ismark.
Ismark, thank you. Irina and Ismark, okay. I have them set up, and I turn to look at Notch, and I want to see if I can tell by how you're dressed if you look like a tracker or hunter or someone who might be familiar with animals. I want to... less than my passive insight, but it's a 12. You think that would be enough with how you dress to kind of determine?
Yeah, there's enough. There are enough grass stains and like hand-stitched repair seams
Okay.
in the clothing to give you the sense that this guy spends a lot of his time outdoors.
If you would like to help, please hitch my elk back up to the wagon. We need to get out of here. And so that's what she's asking you to do, is to hitch them back to the wagon while she does something else inside the wagon.
Sure thing. One sec. And Notch takes out his lantern,
Okay.
sets it down, and lights it. I just need to check something real quick.
Okay.
So, the description of this lantern of tracking undead sheds bright light in a 30-foot radius and dim light for an additional 30 feet. Burns for 6 hours on a pint of oil, but I'll be dousing it really quickly. While the lantern is within 300 feet of undead, its flame turns bright green.
Its flame turns bright green.
Well, within 300 miles, there's something.
300 feet.
Oh, 300 feet.
You also hear like a dull moaning and like absent thumping of a skull against a nearby window. You look over like down the block a ways and you just see a zombie like
Just inside a locked
just
room.
inside of a locked room.
Okay. I douse the lantern and put it back on my belt and mutter, well, I guess that was not the best place to test that. And I go to hitch the elk up to the wagon.
You just
Okay.
make an Atlantis check with advantage.
With advantage 17.
Okay. The elk are very like kind of skittish around you, but you lower your voice, you speak calmly. You're pretty well versed in being able to hitch horses. This shouldn't be too much different. You managed to get them hitched without a hitch.
Sorry guys, your mistress is in the back. She's just dealing with something else right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this place either.
Mom.
There you go. That's not too tight, is it? Just checking.
You hear a lot of thumping going on in the wagon, but I've pushed my little jewelry-sized box over, and I've tossed the lid back, and I went fumbling through whatever bag was near me that looked like it had coin. Ended up being your last character's coins, because we agreed to make that the storefront fund, basically. And she reaches her arm in and she pulls out the cluster of red animantia mushrooms that she had prepped in there, and immediately tosses 25 gold back into the box and shuts it to restock the bundle of 10. And she starts going through her shit, pulling out her herbalism kit, and is going to attempt to make some health potions.
Right, you make those rolls.
It's
What
intelligence.
does it look like when Notch comes back in and witnesses your potion making, Katya?
Her herbalism kit itself, because I was able to kind of mess around with the artisan stuff that she's proficient with. The herbalism kit itself comes from her Vistani background, which gives her double proficiency with it. So it is actually of Vistani make, which means it kind of looks... I'm going to say it kind of looks the mix between like a mad scientist's station, but also at the same time like a medicine, like witch doctor. Very, very mishmash, very thrown together of what works. Some stuff seems high quality, some stuff seems like it's been handed down for generations. She has these mushrooms in a in a pulverizer, and she's crushing them and measuring out the handfuls amounts, and there is a small bubbling cauldron to the side, and the herbalism kit has some bottles in it already. Right, comes with 10.
This earthy but energizing smell fills the wagon and filters up through like the crooked kind of smokestack that is installed in the ceiling for specifically this purpose. And you re-enter the wagon.
Okay. And I need to make checks to see if I succeed in making. I think I'm just gonna make a bunch of. I think I'm just gonna make some common ones.
Okay.
Because I have more likely chance to succeed on those, and I've got a lot of mushrooms, so we can consume more of them. Herbalism kit, my Vistani one, double proficiency. So that is, and you said intelligence was what I was using.
Yes.
So that is going to be 2 from the intelligence, and then my proficiency is doubled, so 4, so I get a +6.
All right. What's the DC?
DC's 10.
All right.
I just got to hit a 4.
Just got to hit a 4.
Just got to hit a 4. And I'm going to try and make 6.
Okay. So
Common health potions, so I still have 4 mushrooms that I'm keeping in my inventory.
Okay. Because I am still learning these rules as well, that means you make 4 rolls, correct?
I said I'm making 6. I'm actually making 6 rolls.
Okay. Cool. Go for it.
Yeah, it's... Wait, I think No. It's...
I'm just gonna say, like, if it doesn't specify, it's 1 roll.
No.
Per
Yeah, I
person.
think it's 1 roll per. Okay, yeah, that was a natural 19, so 1. So 17.
That was cocked.
Oh, was? Okay,
That was
I'll just
cocked.
do it again. 13.
Okay.
So 2.
2.
12. So 3. 20. So
Yeah.
that was natural 20. So there's nothing specified in anything about natural 20s. We can decide if there's something, but I don't really care. So that's 4. 16. 5. And that's a natural 1. So
5 out of 6. No,
I got 5 out of 6. So I lost 1 mushroom out of that. And I will make sure to add in my inventory that I do have 4 mushrooms on hand.
Bottling and bubbling and with red, mushroomy, earthy, like little chunks liquefying into an essence, with little sputtering gasps of liquid into a larger beaker, solidifies into a steady stream as it fills 5 little vials, and the last one, it's like it hit just the very bottom of the boiling flask, and it like sputters out a bunch of like black burnt chunks. You put a little fire a little too high for that last one. Got too excited. Got too scared. And that vial for flavor just kind of
Yeah, it just shatters.
But you have 5.
Yep. Sorry, I'm just making sure that I'm trying to keep track of my shit. I do have so much stuff. The problem with being a merchant. Okay.
Problem with being a store maid.
She shoves the kit away and comes over to you and tilts your head back, and I feel like you haven't been able to move or talk, but I think she can tell that you're awake, like you're aware. So you need to swallow this. Try to swallow all of it. It might not taste very good, but you have to swallow it. And I pour the potion down your throat.
As the liquid hits your throat, it's almost as if you kind of remember how to use those muscles as it goes. It's a very weird, warm, curious sensation.
I just imagine the mask has like little pep holes
There's a
to
little
like to
gap,
speak.
yes.
Yeah. All right. What
so-
happens at imbibing this concoction?
It is a common potion of healing. So, well, if we're
plus 2, I think?
it's a D4 plus 2. Are you using if we're spending the full action that we just do the max, and then if it's the bonus action for rolling?
Since we are sticking to a D&D 5e module,
Okay.
I am going to minimize homebrew ruling.
Okay.
Potions work standard to
Okay.
the rules. So
Then
it's
roll
an
it.
action It's an action.
1d4, right?
I believe it's 1d4 plus.
I mean, let me go.
Yeah, double check it. It's the common healing potion.
I have it up. So
So it's an action to imbibe or give it to somebody, and you do have to roll for healing. Normally, I like to say it's a bonus action if you're drinking it yourself, but...
Oh, 2. No, it's 2d4 plus 2. That is the common one.
Okay. 2d4 plus 2?
2d4.
I'm going to keep that one open as well.
Yeah.
You seem like you will be making a lot of those.
I know, I'm keeping this tab open. It's one reason
There's a 4, and that's a 1.
So,
5 plus
4.
2.
Or, no, 2. Yeah,
7.
5 plus 2. Okay.
So I got 7 hit points.
And I hand one to Ismark to give Irina.
He looks genuinely startled that you are giving him something to help, but he tries to recover quickly and just takes it and carefully gives it to her.
And as soon as he's made her drink it, Katya grabs the empty vial away from him and shoves another potion in his hand. That one's for you. And yeah, she's taking the empty vials because as long as she keeps track of them, if she cleans them before a different potion or just uses them for a health potion again, there won't be any contamination. So she's
You know how difficult it is to get good potion bottles on the fly? No.
I didn't put them in my storefront inventory, so I'll do that tomorrow. And I down one for myself. So that uses up
It has no effect because your maximum hit points are reduced. And
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Never mind. I wouldn't take it then.
but here's the thing: Katya doesn't.
That's true.
So describe to me what her reaction is when she ingests what she knows is a viable potion of healing and nothing happens.
She curses in Vistani in very colorful fashion, and I think unintentionally breaks the bottle she was holding.
Do your nails grow a little longer as
Yeah.
you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like for her nails, they're a dark color, and some people might think they were painted, but actually they're just naturally dark. The bottle cracks. Eyes flash gold for a moment, and then she kind of comes back to herself. She's like, "It's fine. I will just rest it off. Are you done out there?" Just kind of sticks her head up to you.
You turn around and he's at the door.
Ah, great. We're leaving. Get it. Just not even thinking. Just
Just no. And Irina reaches out and grabs your arm and just starts to shake her head.
okay. What?
She smacks Ismark in the chest and starts to sign. I know, but okay. God. Yes, she's like, I will tell them. She's very ornery. Stop it. She will not go until we have buried her father. That is what she said. This is...
Okay. Counter offer. Looking towards Irina.
She's just continually shaking her head.
Just listen to me. It is still a burial. Time is not our friend right now. And also, I've noticed the freaky shit. And she's gesturing to the freaking zombie in a window.
She gestures something. He's like, it is freaky shit. You haven't seen... She slaps at him, but it's generally...
Look, listen. Burying your father might not mean he stays in the ground. So, may I do a proper burial the Vistani way? It is a cremation.
She shakes her head.
Why?
She signed... She is insistent upon him being buried at the church. This is the reason why she would not leave 2 fucking weeks ago. And she just crosses her arms and scowls and stares at the wall. It's I'm over here.
Let me an Arcana check on something. I'm just gonna see if my character knows this. Oh, I think she would. With a 14, would she know about Hallowed Ground?
I think you wouldn't know about the specificity of the spell, but I think you would know, like, the lore behind it.
Well, is it at least holy ground or whatever the fuck?
He looks at her uncertainly, and she can't tell, so she just, she signs something. He says, she insists that it is what he wanted.
Fine. But if that creep fucker messes with your dead dad, that's not my fault. And I stomp out of the wagon.
If you wanted to mess with... he looks at Irina, covers her ears, and she's the... If he wanted to mess with her... Stop! If he wanted to mess with him, he would have bitten him to death. Caught him, but he didn't.
Fun! Good to know. And she's just...
She, like, slaps at him and goes, okay. I apologize. I did not think this would get that. I did not think this through.
No, you clearly didn't.
No. I know.
Alright, look. I already agreed to a job, and it is not part of our code to back out of a job. But I am demanding extra payment in the form of those fucking guns that your father gave you. Because this one actually seems to know how to shoot shit. Just pointing at your body. You're just kind of like...
I'm still, like, you've noticed, like, the little links, like, are slowly, like, healing together, cinching together.
Mm-hmm. Fine. Another reason why we should go back is I can get the gold for your payment. It can pay you. Still.
Honestly, as you probably saw, and I'm gesturing to the little box that he just witnessed me pull shit out of and dump coin in to make the health potions, gold is literally my livelihood. And he can connect however he wants to with that. If he thinks I'm feeding gold to something to get things out of it, whatever he wants to think, let him think it's some stupid mimic.
Flat intelligence. That's a 2. He reaches, like, he waits until you turn around and, like, go to start the car, and he, like, cautiously pets the bag.
It's like the box.
Just, like, good mimic. All right. Chekhov, what are you doing in the meantime?
What? I can move again.
The power of potions compels you.
I do not understand that reference. If that is it. I'm sorry.
It is something my uncle used to say.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
Nothing.
You look lucky you.
Thank you, Katya, for giving me that concoction. I can move again.
I'm glad that it worked. I wasn't 100% sure if it would, but magic usually has its ways.
I see that I am not fully repaired.
You might want to just sit still for now, and she isn't clearly no means to go anywhere. You are still freaking fucked up.
Oh, can I have 2d4, please? So that's a 6 plus 2. Actually, Irina looks pretty good. She's only missing 1 hit point now.
Oh, cool.
And Ismark, who I told myself had
Bless.
12 hit points left.
4 and 2 again.
Okay, so he has a total of, what did I say?
You said he has
8. So he has a total of 20 hit points. He still looks pretty rough.
Yes.
You get the sense that he's actually misleadingly hardy.
Yeah. So, I would prefer it if you two stayed in the wagon to guard it and him, and we will... Hey, how do you feel about burying a body? Properly. I swear we'll do it properly, and we'll go to the church.
I will come with you.
He can't...
I feel fine enough to move.
I've never seen anything like that outside of Durstone. Like,
You mean there's something else besides me that's like me?
is it much? Don't worry about it.
Alright, I shall not worry about it. Hello, by the way. Thank you for carrying my body over to this wagon.
That was no easy task, but you're welcome.
I take it I was not a very light load.
Not really.
My apologies, then. I overheard a bit. We need to take the young lady's father to be buried.
To the church, yeah.
Which way is the church?
Just
It gives me directions on the map and whatnot.
Isn't that the church right there? Yep.
right there.
And I think we're
you
here.
are either
Oh, no,
here
yeah, we're at the
or
tavern.
here because I don't remember which one is the tavern.
I think it's this one.
Yeah.
Actually, I can double check. Yes, you are here. Okay.
So that's the tavern.
In that
is
case,
the larger building is the tavern.
in that case, Katya is going to go to the front of the wagon, and he's already hitched it, so she's actually going to snap the reins and steer the elk to head to the manor. Be a lot faster and easier if we just get the body in the wagon and take the wagon to the church.
Okay. Without issue, assuming that you do not stop for Mad Mary.
Real quick though, as we're going, she leans back over the seat. So, what is your name? Green stranger who literally helped drag my friend back to the wagon so that he didn't fall apart so I could heal him.
Yes, what is your name?
I'll go by Notch, like on belts. But not spelt the same. Gnoch. But the G is silent.
Oh my god. Gosh.
Not. Sorry.
It is nice to meet you, Gnash.
Likewise,
My
not.
name is Katya. Big boy back there is Chekhov.
Yes, that is my name, Chekhov. A pleasure.
Nice to finally meet your acquaintance, Chekhov. And he shakes hands.
You're right next to each other. Actually, do it.
Yeah, actually, let's play this out.
The most dead fish handshake.
Neither of us are used to handshakes.
Neither of you know what you're doing.
Okay.
Cool.
What was that?
A piss poor handshake on both our parts.
Irina
We'd love to let
taps-
time to perfect it.
Irina taps your shoulder, Chekhov.
I turn.
She turns and she offers her hand out.
Does anyone translate for her? Oh, thumbs up. And that's universal.
She gives you a nice firm handshake to help, and then goes to sit next to her brother.
You know what I'm gonna do right now?
What are you gonna do right now?
You know that one language I was holding on to?
Yeah.
I'm gonna use it for that.
I was hoping. I
Oh,
was hoping.
learn sign language.
I was hoping. Okay.
I do love that.
It's like I understood that.
She said to you, that is how you shake a hand.
Yeah, and in response, like, I understood that. And he's like,
She's blind, she can't see.
oh.
But you can understand her. None of us but her brother can understand her. So this actually is still good.
I understood that. Thank you.
That is thank you. That is actual
Yeah,
thank
that
you.
is thank you.
It's just a touch to the chin and then to you.
It's
know what,
gotta be in front
I
of
now
the
know
chin. If it's
two-
below the chin, it's vulgar.
Really? I did not know that.
I-
Good to know.
Yeah,
I-
apparently brushing below the chin is
This
basically
is-
that.
Yeah, it's-
oh, okay.
yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
The only one I know is bacon.
I actually have an ASL dictionary on my bookshelf if anyone's curious.
Don't you ever hold me accountable.
I am. I kind of want to know how to do that.
That'll be fun.
Honestly, it would be kind of cool. But anyway,
Anyway,
you make your way back to the manor, assuming that you do not stop for Men and Mary.
she's just still wailing in the street.
She's still moaning and wailing in the streets.
Actually, as we're passing her, I'm gonna lean back to the two residents of this town. Is that normal? Like the lady with the doll. Is that normal?
That is Mary. She a bit of a shut-in. Her daughter ran off finally about 2 weeks ago, and she's very upset about it.
How old is her daughter?
Some 22 years old.
Oh, yeah, my age.
Should we do something about that? And I turned to Notch, like, you know, it's like new
Oh.
person.
Okay. Book says teenager. So
So 16.
book
My mo-
says teenager.
My
so-
money is 16.
Yeah.
So some 16 years old.
I mean,
But I do not blame the girl, honestly. We only knew she had a daughter when she was born, and then just I wasn't allowed to leave the house at all. Even
Oh.
when things were better.
note to us, like gesturing to the wagon at large. If we see a 16-year-old girl while we are on the road, we will check on her. But we're not taking her back to her mother.
Sucks that Gossamer died because he would have known something about that. Oh well.
Couldn't be avoided.
Yeah.
This is what it is. None of us are locals anymore. I love it,
Yeah.
to be honest. We get to learn everything together.
All right. You go back to the manor, and you go back into the house. Ismark gets out first, and Irina follows, and is like holding onto the back of his like long brown leather duster. And she's like holding onto it as he goes inside, and he kind of picks up one half of the makeshift coffin by himself. It's like, anyone get the other end?
How heavy is the coffin?
It is a fully grown man in a half wooden coffin, so it's. And this is a very muscular man, so I'd say it's close to 300 pounds.
Close to how many pounds you said?
300.
300 pounds? Let's see here.
So 150 between two people. Each.
Yeah. I want to see if I can do this.
Oh, you can try and lift the whole thing?
I think it's more about balance to have one person on the other end.
Yeah, it is an elongated
It's
thing.
also a makeshift coffin.
It's not
super
sturdy.
So the coffin is, with the body inside is how heavy?
300 pounds.
Alright. I put one hand under one side of the coffin, one hand on the other side of the coffin, and I lift it with ease because I can lift 510.
Cool. You do that, and you lift the weight out of Ismark's hands, and he kind of wilts a little bit. Oh. Alright.
And then I proceed to walk, kind of like this weird automaton kind of state, lift it to the wagon, and I just kind of load it in
So,
very methodically in like a robotic kind of a sense.
As you are doing this, you see that there are 9 people. For the first time since you've entered Barovia, aside from Mad Mary and the residents of the tavern, you see people coming out of their homes and looking as you load up the body of their beloved burgomaster into the back of the stony wagon. And your shouts start to go up. Like angry and upset kind of shouts. None of you speak Barovian, I believe.
We've got the 2 siblings.
What are they saying?
He just shakes his head and lowers his head and gets back into the wagon. And Irina looks angry, and she grabs something small out of your wagon, throws it at the crowd. And Ismark grabs.
I'm gonna say it was a cabbage. I'm gonna say she
her-
grabbed a cabbage and threw it.
Yeah, threw her cabbage into the crowd. And steers her inside and forces her to sit down. It's not going to help. Hissing through his teeth, and she looks upset. But it's hard for her to resist what her brother's trying to tell her. So she eventually settles. It's not a mob forming, but it is the emotional tension of people that have lost their leader and now have no replacement.
Okay. We just get to the head of the wagon, and I'm just steering it to the church.
Right? Can I have somebody's token? Just anybody's?
Actually,
I
yeah.
used your D4s last time, so I'll use him. You make your way up here, and you pass what looks to be a general store right there. Looks to be a mercantile of some sort. Make your way up to the church, and the tension and the emotional energy eventually fades as the people behind you just get tired. They have just seen you usher the last of their hope to the graveyard. Stop in front of the church. Atop a slight rise against the roots of the pillar stone that supports Castle Ravenloft stands a gray, sagging edifice of stone and wood. This church has obviously weathered the assaults of evil for centuries on end and is worn and weary. A bell tower rises towards the back, and flickering light shines through holes in the shingled roof. The rafters strain feebly against their load. Nosh, what's going through your head right now?
Just taking in the incredibly dour atmosphere. For the most part.
What's going through your head, Chekhov?
Yeah, I'm kind of taking in the vibe and atmosphere of there's this cemetery now. People are because it's a different kind of when you're at a church or a cemetery, everything, the environment kind of changes. And is there anything kind of familiar looking at tombstones and all that kind of stuff, or?
1 second.
It's so dark in there, I can't actually see her. It's like a black abyss.
Hey, can someone turn on the office lights?
Yeah, hold
Hey
on.
Google. Oh, you unplugged it again.
Thank you.
Unplugged what? Who? Huh?
The hockey fuck.
I like to unplug the hockey puck because it's always listening and I don't like it.
She is paranoid.
Yes, rightfully so.
This is why I'm still getting advertisements on YouTube for Steven's Pass.
Getting out to those, like,
Roll me a
Gel
d6.
Mm.
3.
Okay. Pick one for me, male or female.
Let's go female.
You remember looking down at a tombstone amongst pale green grass, dandelions shifting in the wind, and mom? You kind of remember what a mom is. Because you look up at her and you're very small. Very small. Your hair is short and curly and soft blonde. And you look up at your mother and she gives you... Okay.
No. That.
What?
It stopped. Oh, never mind. Keep going.
There was just a lull between tracks.
it's like the fade out before the loop starts again, I guess.
Yeah, it's fine.
You look up at your mother, and she says, "Death is sometimes a part of life, darling. It's something that we have to get used to."
But why?
Because, Liza, the dad is very sick. We didn't quite have enough money for a cleric. So, nature took its course. We can't be mad at the world for what's happened. And you remember pain. You remember emotional pain. You remember the pressure and burn behind your eyelids as tears formed and began to stream down your face. And determination filled you in that moment. That if people have to afford to have a cleric, you're going to become. And you're not going to charge a dime.
Oh boy.
And you're back.
Chekhov just kind of puts his hand, like, on his, what's that spot? Like, below
Sternum?
the sternum. Because he's actually feeling, like, a tightening. He's actually feeling something.
What do you do?
I pull the wagon up relatively close and kind of letting Ismark take the lead. It's his dad.
Okay. I'm assuming you're going to pick up the coffin again?
Yes.
Okay. You unload the coffin with Kolyan Indirovich in it. The name from your letter. That. Give me an intelligence check for me.
7.
You're pretty sure that they probably spoke to him at least a little. It sucks that he's dead now. But he did have 2 others in his household. They could have heard something. You approach the front doors. The heavy wooden doors of the church are covered with claw marks and scarred by fire. The doors are closed, but they are not unlocked. And so Ismark steps in front, takes careful hold of the doorknobs and of the door handles and pushes them open.
Oh, so you mean they were not locked? Okay.
They were not locked.
Yeah, you said they were not unlocked. And I was like,
I didn't mean to say that.
I was confuzzled.
I apparently said something wrong. Where's your Moncala beads?
Right there.
Give me your Moncala beads. Spread them out.
Cool.
I so neat.
Give me your tokens. Set them up. Down by the doors.
Alright, let's ordering.
You're carrying the coffin in, so I think you're going in first.
We're a little bit theater of the mind here. I just want to let you know of the space around you.
I think you're kind of behind Ismark with the coffin. And then I'm behind you.
The wagon is somewhere down here. So, goes down here. Ismark opens the door,
And you're carrying the coffin, so you would be behind him.
leans in, and just goes, Father Donovich! Itch, itch, itch. Echoes. The doors open to reveal a 10-foot wide, 20-foot long hall, leading to a brightly lit chapel. The hall is unlit and reeks of mildew. 4 doors, 2 on each side of the hall, lead to adjacent chambers. You can see that the chapel is strewn with debris, and you hear a soft voice from within, reciting a prayer. And suddenly the prayer is blotted out by an inhuman scream that rises up from underneath the wooden floor. Just a deafening that shivers the timbers of the floor. But Father Donovich, who is a unhealthily skinny man in the way that a portly individual would lose too much weight too fast, he turns a little distant and gives no visual reaction to the scream that you just heard. Hello, my children. What are you doing here? He gets up, and when he kind of gives out, he straightens it up. Comes over to you. Ismark looks deeply troubled. Here to bury our father, and down from down below, I'm hungry! The timbers beneath you rattle again. Oh, we'll take him along then. He wanders past you out the front door and starts to lead you over towards the cemetery.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow. I don't want to. I'm not. I have 3 hit points. Yeah. I don't want to know what's down there. I don't care. We're here for one reason and one reason only.
Irina is going to follow as well. Ismark wants no part of that shit.
Good luck with your hunger.
Good luck with that. You're not you when you're hungry.
He needs a Snickers. Okay. See if there's anything to describe the funeral. He leads you over to a section of the cemetery that seems to be reserved for the Indirovich line. You can see that the lily and rapier of their family crest is etched into stone with moss and vines crawling up it. And there is a series of names, of surnames that have come down to what you can assume to be Kolyan's father. And under each name, on the plaques, you can see that there's passages of descriptions of great warriors, descriptions of fighters, and politicians and leaders. And there is a solid stone cutout with one with Kolyan's name on it. Like it was made like it was carved and established long ago. Like, whenever I die, this is where I'm gonna be buried.
Family.
It's not like it was like, I'm gonna die soon. It's the appropriate amount of weather to just be like, this was here before, and now we're using it.
Mm.
Father Donovich gestured towards and goes, "We will bury him at dawn, as is appropriate." And then in the distance you just hear, "Father, I'm hungry!" He's like, "Don't mind that."
Katya's looking at.
Yeah, that's a normal thing to say in response to that sort of noise.
What?
I said, have you got anything to kind of ward off like undead that we can put in the coffin, like some special herb or something?
Wolves bane for curious werewolves.
Right. That was a 2 on deception to try and play off what I said as something completely different.
He
tracks.
he looks at you and he's just roll insight for me, real quick.
Alright. 12.
He doesn't have the emotional capacity to be relieved that you changed the subject, but that's like the closest you can get to what went through this guy's mind just now. There is not a lot going on behind those eyes, and whatever is going on, probably not super stable.
You said to have wolfsbane?
We can find it.
You have some nearby?
No,
Where do you find it?
we mostly use sage.
Ah.
Does not have any particular effect against undead, like zombies, but does remarkably well against ghosts, specters,
I'm looking at Irina and her brother.
incorporeal types. Irina, her face is like contorted, like, who is this person that's talking? And Ismark looks so thoroughly weirded out and genuinely freaked out by the screaming that we can hear even from outside of the church.
Is there a reason we have to wait till dawn? I mean, it is technically dawn already. It was early morning when we went to the manor.
Yeah.
Not that much time has passed.
Are you questioning our rituals?
No, I am just asking. I am curious.
It does sound like a question.
We worship the thunder of the morning, Lord. Here, the proper graves must be filled at dawn. Must be done. But you are welcome to stay in the chapel overnight. You've weathered many an attack. Welcome to stay.
I am looking at the siblings.
Wanders back towards the chapel.
I am waiting till he's out of earshot.
He's out of earshot.
Yeah, no. I said no to that.
Irina kind of like,
What did she say?
she's just made this gesture.
You heard me screaming.
Gestures at her dead father.
I know. Why do we have to wait till dawn?
Apparently it is part of the ritual.
But it is morning. Literally, dawn was only like 20 minutes ago. Isn't it technically still dawn?
Yeah, what time is it?
Not dawn enough, apparently.
Oh my god.
Alright. So, I'm going to go looking for some wolfsbane and sage, because I'm sure we're going to have to be dealing with one of those 2 things.
I'll come with you. She looks way too eager to go with you. Like, I'm not even rolling a deception. She looks way too easy. You can't tell if it's because she is intrigued by ingredients, because you saw her make fucking potions, or if she wants to get the fuck away from this church. Both are accurate.
Chekhov, what's going through your head as this conversation is happening?
What should I do?
Do you wish to... Chekhov, that is up to you. Do you want to come with us into the nearby fields, which I actually can see, just away from the fence, or do you wish to stay with the siblings? We're going to be coming back, but I lean over towards Chekhov. That was a loud screaming, and that is not normal.
They do sound hungry.
My concern is what they're hungry for.
Should we ask?
No.
Ismark just, typically, I mean, gestures, the way that the priest has gone, that is my childhood parish. We have not been back in some time because of reasons, but, even then, it was not this bad.
Something is very wrong. I understand the importance of rituals and mourning. Trust me, I do. I literally just went through it 3 days ago with my uncle.
Oh, are you okay?
It was expected. He was sick. But regardless, my uncle would not have wanted me to put myself in danger for the sake of himself who is already gone.
Irina, seems to think about that. I need you to roll insight on Ismark.
I'm proficient in insight. Natural 19 plus 4.
8. Deception. His face is too grim when you say, wouldn't have wanted to put ourselves in danger for something he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But Irina looks like, you're right, he wouldn't have.
Gonna lean into that. I clock his face. I'd like to look at him in a way for him to realize I see him and I see what he's feeling, but I look to Irina and the fact that she has this expression of maybe being convinced, and I look back to him and I'm hoping he'll play along. I think we need to consider what he would have wanted for you, Irina, not him. He's not even here. It is just his body. He's already gone. Do you really think he'd want you to risk your life any longer staying in this place one more night for a ritual when it could cost you your life?
Roll persuasion with advantage.
Hell fucking yeah. Let's go. I get a +6 to persuasion.
And before you announce that result, I'm going to take a pause on the recording, and we're going to take a 10-minute break.
I got a natural 20.
I told you to pause, but that's a no 10. Alright.
I got excited!
Alright.
That's a good place to pause anyway. I got a natural 20 pause!
End of part 1.